Second, obviously, is then to speak about what you want. What do you want? I don't want this, but I want something else. This is the way this is internally with issues that we're stuck with, like mental, and spiritual, and emotional issues. The way to get it out of ourselves and the way to unburden ourselves and to free ourselves from those constrictions is to speak about it. I don't mean to speak about it to a therapist and speak about it to somebody else. I mean, it's literally to speak about it to yourself. Obviously, you're never yourself, so you're speaking about it to Hashem. So imagine you're having a private conversation with God. Out loud. In voice. This is the conversation. You sit alone in the room, you lock the door, make sure no one's listening to you, you turn on the music or something, and you say, God, listen, this is not good. This is not acceptable. It's unacceptable. I've done this, the other thing. It's unacceptable. This is my reality. And if you feel like you're talking to yourself, so say that also. Say, God, I don't understand what I'm doing. I'm really talking to myself. And if you have nothing to say Hashem, I don't really know what to do. I have nothing to say. But speak it. Speak about what's troubling you and speak about it openly. Because the first step is to speak about what you want. And the first thing I would even say before speaking about what you want, really say what's really troubling you. Okay, a person says, I need this. Really? What do you really want? What's really troubling you? What's the real things that are bothering me? And speak about it. So first of all, it creates clarity for yourself. So you know exactly what is troubling me. Your life is not working out. But which part of it? Okay, you can say this thing and that thing and the other thing. But until you give it voice and speak it out clearly to yourself, you don't really know for yourself, and you're not starting the process of redeeming that. So speak it. That's the first thing. Point number two. Point number two is Achodesh Hazalachem. We have to create the image of the reality that we wish to create for ourselves. To mentally visualize, if you're not good visually, or to create an image of exactly what you want. Okay, so you don't want this. And you speak about it, and you're freeing yourself psychologically, mentally, spiritually from this constriction. You don't want this. So what do you want? Create that image in your imagination. Create it. Achodesh Hazalachem said it's not possible for this to be my reality, and I want to connect with something that's beyond me. And I create this visually. Imagine yourself in this new reality. It's hard, it's difficult, but this is the way we unburden ourselves from the situations. So creating that reality. All these two steps, are movements towards the place of potential. We say that everything in creation, there's a yesh ayin reality. The yesh reality is the physical reality the way it is. The ayin reality is the reality of the potential. Like the yesh is the aleph, the potential is the hey. So if I say, I want to get out of the place of my actual. I don't like my actual anymore. I want to create something new for myself. I have to go to the place of the potential. So by accessing speech, which is freeing, but more importantly, by accessing the place of my koyach hadimiyah, the power of imagination, I'm going to the place where things are possible, where everything's possible. Just because I look like this and this is what I'm doing, that's one reality, that's one manifestation. This is stage 2. Stage 3 is also very important and integral. Because the first 2 steps, what you're doing the first 2 steps is you're getting to the place of ayin. Getting to the place of the potential. But you're not actually ayin. So the only way you can create something that's completely new is if you become ayin. Now the only problem is that if you're only in the place of ayin, where it's not about your ego, right? And you're just a transparent vessel that's receiving and transmitting to others, so then there's no reason to change anything. You accept everything in your... That's bittul, right? That's nullification. Nullification means that I have bittul hayesh, which means I don't really care what happens to my life. Whatever happens in my life is perfect. Why do I know it's perfect? Because Hashem created it, so it's perfect. Always. At any moment of life. If I think it's miserable, okay, that's my perception. But if Hashem created the reality that it is now, it's perfect. I completely accept the reality as is, right? That's nullification, that's bittul. But that's the only way you can enter into the ayin. The only way to enter into the ayin is complete surrender. The only way to change things is completely attached to your narrative. Attached to your story, saying, I want to change it. you have to balance these two perspectives simultaneously. In other words, if you're going in and saying, I want to create a new reality for myself, and I speak about it, I visualize it, right? These are tools of redemption. Like the Torah gives us, these are the tools of our redemption. But I'm still connected to that thing. I want that particular story to unfold. I want that particular narrative to come true. Then it's still yesh. It's still yesh. It's still your story. I'm connected to the story. This is the result that I want. If I'm only in a place of surrender, there's no story. What do I care? So what you're doing is you're doing both. You're saying on one hand, I fully accept Hashem. This is your will. On the other hand, I completely don't accept anything. And this is what the Torah is. This is what we're talking about in the month. We have the Yud Kei Vav, we have the Hey, we have the speech, we have all these ideas is trying to show that there's both. So you have these two contrasting, two opposite ideas. That on the one hand is a complete surrender, and on the one hand is a complete non-surrender. I say that I want to create a new reality. I'm speaking about this new reality that I want to create. I visualize this reality that I want to create. And I know, Hashem, that you give me this potential, that I could create this. This is the way things can be created. On the other hand, there's a complete surrendering. That I don't have to do anything. And what it means that I don't have to do anything means on these two levels of Hey. The first level that I don't have to do anything is I don't have to physically do anything anymore. I've done my part. Let's say I'm looking for a shidduch, I'm looking for panas, I'm looking for some other thing. I say, Hashem, I'm going to do I'm going to try to create this reality for myself. I'm going to complain about it, not to other people, but to you. I'm going to speak about it. I'm going to visualize the reality that I want to create. And I'm also, at every day, I'm also going to practice something that I'm just going to say, that's it, I did my part. Hashem, now you do your part. And not only just going to do it in terms of my action, that I'm going to stop doing something, but also in terms of my mind. I'm going to stop worrying. I'm going to practice Shabbos of this worry now. Because the only way we can really, listen, everyone should be blessed with what they need, physically and materially and spiritually, everything immediately without all this process. And Hashem can do that as well. But I'm just saying, if you look into the Chodesh, the month of Nissan, what the month is telling us, is that we have to, on one hand, create this new realities for ourselves, speak about these realities that we want to create for ourselves, and make ourselves meshuggah about it. On the other hand, we have to stop worrying. We have to stop worrying. There is a creator. Yesh Baal Habayis L'Birdu. There's a master of the universe. Hashem knows what he's doing. Sometimes it doesn't look that way. That's why we complain. That's why we create other realities for ourselves. On the other hand, we have to have complete surrender. And surrender is not just the surrender of activity, but it's also surrender of a mindset. Just letting go.